you guys are going to grow to want rain days from time to time because I've been sitting in the car. I've been figuring out. I finally wrote down all the babies 1 through 75. We have 75 babies. 2 more to come in. 77. That's it. I didn't tell anybody this, but I'm sick. I actually did bid on a horse today in the Michiana sale. It's Saturday afternoon here, and I got a call from one of our clients who's I'll just leave it. He's a client of ours that was at the Michiana sale, and he called me. He said, Anthony, I know you didn't tell anybody this sale was on, and I know you're not coming here. You know, it's been a long year and a long sale season, a lot of horses purchased. He said, but there's a Swan for all colt here you should look at. And I said, well, I guarantee I can't look at him. So I'll take your word for it, though. And he said he's a really nice colt, and I think he'd be a good fit for your program. And I said, well, is he your colt? No. That don't have anything to do with him. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I haven't told anybody the sale was on. I haven't mentioned any horse. I haven't looked at any horses. I looked the horse up as we were talking, obviously, and he's well-bred. I don't know why he was in the sale. I said, are you sure he looks good? He said, telling he's straight, he's correct, and he's huge. So why is he in this sale then? This is the second year the Michiana sale's on. And it's more of a spillover sale, right? From Ohio and Indiana. And he said, no. He said, this horse looks good. And I said, well, you're going to have to keep a piece of him if we buy him because I don't have anybody lined up for this horse. And I can't have my exposure being high. We get the Harrisburg sale left to pay for, and that's it. For those of you out there that don't know how it works, obviously we get credit. I'm not a millionaire. I didn't go from obscurity to a millionaire overnight. We work on sale credit. We buy the horses. We have people that stand behind us, thankfully, that are there to help step in if we need some help along the way, as we will, as any business growing does. And we rely on sale credit. So we still have the Harrisburg sale to pay for next week, which wasn't that much this year, a lot less than it was last year. So I said, I just want to get through this, paying off this last sale and get some of our creditors paid off and get the ball moving for the winter, through the fall and the winter, and get back to training the babies down for this time of season. He said, well, I'll keep a decent chunk. I'll keep whatever you need me to, he said, and sell them it along the way. I said, okay, well, go to whatever you think. He said, well, I think he's worth 25. I said, well, let's be a little frugal here. Let's say 20 to 22. And I may need to lean on you a little bit, which was fine, I'm sure. Anyway, the horse went for 26,000. We didn't get him. But nevertheless, the last sale, the very last, I swear, it's the last sale. It's all over. So we are now at 75 yearlings, 2 more to come in privately that are coming. So there's 70. I'm comfortable saying there's 77. I didn't put the 2 that aren't here yet on the list, so I don't know anything about them. I don't even know their names. So there's 75 babies in our care right now. So I should have counted these to double check. I know there is. Curtis sent me the list. Oh, we did sell one horse. One of our clients had a horse here. I broke the horse, and anyway, it doesn't matter. A bunch. We got a bunch of babies to talk about. We got Kevin's burn. We get Harry's burn. We get Jason's burn. I even did you a turnout list, and I went one step further. Everybody keeps bugging me now. Anthony, what about a top 10 list? How can I possibly give you a top 10 list of 70 horses 2 weeks after we broke them? But I can give you a list of horses that impressed me yesterday. Now, there's a lot of horses that I know are going to be very good horses that didn't make this list. This is horses that just impressed me, what I saw on the track yesterday. And I know a lot of you watched the drone video on Friday, and said, Bend Over made a break, and you said that him and Crazy Mission were going to be on your list this week to go with. That's not very good. And I said, well, just so you're clear, Mystical Mission, or not Mystical Mission, what the hell am I talking about? White Tiger was on my list almost all last year. Most of it because he was nice, and I wanted to make sure that we kept him in check. But a lot of it was because he was acting up. If you guys remember, White Tiger was supposed to get most of June off, and he couldn't because he made a break. He was a little pacey, and he got out of gear, and he was just being bad. So these horses, we want to see them get better and better and better, but we have to get them to where they're comfortable, to where they're trotting, if they're trotters, and pacing when they're pacers. and Bend Over and Crazy Mission were acting up the last 2 times I saw them. We're simply going to put the trotting hobbles. If you look close, you saw Sebastian Ray wear the trotting hobbles the other day. Sebastian Yu wore the trotting hobbles. They're the only 2 trotters we have wearing trotting hobbles right now. They're both by Sebastian K, which is in itself, it's another odd story. We have 4 Sebastian Ks. 2 are the most beautifully fluid-gated trotters you could see, and 2 of them needed trotting hobbles to get going. Now, I think they were just a little rambunctious and a little hyper, and sometimes they need a little help. And Sebastian Yu, nobody knew this, but Sebastian Yu 5 days ago wouldn't hit the trot. Yeah, 5 days ago now, wouldn't hit the trot. Monday morning, I started going with him. We put a little more weight on him up front. We put a set of bandages on him behind. Then we put a little more weight on him up front. Then I put the trotting hobbles on him. And he never put a step in yesterday. So just in 4 days, this is the 5th day. Yesterday was the 4th day. Just a tremendous change in 4 days from Sebastian Yu to the Sebastian Yu at the beginning of the week to Sebastian Yu yesterday. Probably one of the most improved horses of the week. But I do have horses that I think, a couple of horses that stood out to me. Both were pacers, and some trotters that were actually good looking also. I'm going to highlight them right now. And one in particular, I feel very confident in saying, the most improved horse in our barn. Now, obviously, some horses have only been here a couple of weeks, and, what do they have to improve? This guy we've had for quite a while. He was bad. I wasn't happy with the way he looked, and I really was concerned that maybe he wasn't going to be what we consider a nice horse right from the start. Man, oh man, I went with him yesterday. I'm going to get to it after a bit. I went to him with him yesterday. Wow, this horse improved. Beyond what I would expect. I expected improvements when we made the shoeing and equipment changes. I did. I expected changes for the better. Not this much. This horse really, really shocked me with his attitude, 2, his ability, obvious ability, and 3, the way he used it on the track yesterday was really, really impressive. I'm just highlighting a couple of horses here. The one in particular. I got 15 horses on this list that I thought impressed me yesterday. There's a lot of horses that were good, but I guess it's not fair, but to be honest, there's some I just expect to be good. Rose Run Valiant's not on this list. He looked great yesterday, but I expect him to look great. So he didn't wow me. He just did exactly what I needed him to do, as he's been doing since we got him. He's one example. I could give you lots of examples of horses that are just doing what I expect them to do and didn't necessarily make this list. I think, looking at this, we have 2 pacers and 2 trotters that stood out to me. No, there's one other trotter. So 2 pacers and 3 trotters that really stood out. And 1 trotter in especially that I thought was ultra impressive. So we'll get to that in a minute. We don't have much to talk about as racing. I guess the biggest news of the week was we had 4 horses in Western Fair Raceway on Friday. 3 of them were picked to win. 1 of them picked for 3rd, I think. All 4 of them had a very good chance to win. They all spiked temperatures, and we scratched every single one of them Friday night. Now, as I sit here in the rain, we're going to race Gelona tonight. She's healthy. We took her temperature twice today. Jason had texted me and said her temperature was perfect. I said her temperature is good, but mine's just so. It's pouring rain here, and I'm not going to Flamborough tonight. So instead, I can give you a movie update on Ralph Wrecked the Internet. Ralph Wrecked the Internet at 7 o'clock for Ava and Ollie and Mummy and me. So I won't be attending Flamborough Downs tonight. But I did tell them when I entered the horse. I said, I'm looking at the long-range forecast. +3 on my car right now. +3 and pouring rain. 100% chance of precipitation. I told one of our clients a minute ago. He said, what's it like there? I said, 100% chance of precipitation. 100% chance of no participation tonight in Flamborough for me. So, Gelona, she's pretty push button. I think she's picked to win. She should be good. She's surrounded with sick horses, but appears to be healthy. And it's everywhere right now. It's not just our barn. It's everywhere in Ontario. A guy come up to me the other day and said, you got any sick ones? I said, do we have any sick ones? Temperatures are spiking, so I have to go back to the barn tonight. There's a couple of them. I said to somebody, he said, oh, I gave the colts some bute and it brought their temperature down. It's like when you take Tylenol. It doesn't last for a full day. It lasts for like 6 hours in humans, and you might get 12 hours out of a horse that has a temperature that's spiking. So I have to go back tonight and check their temperatures again. And if we have to give some oral anti-inflammatories to drive that down, some bute or banamine, but bute, then we will. And it's that time of year. And you know what it does? It gives us a real good look at exactly what horses may have some issues moving forward. Remember, we're keeping a very close eye on sickness this year and how we treat it. And we see some horses coming in from the same farms we did last year that are very susceptible to these same bugs and viruses. And what needs to happen is we have to be aggressive with them. Clean them up, give them a couple of days to get over it good, vaccinate them really, really well, and keep a very close eye on them. I'm not a real big believer in the stuff you buy at the tack shops, you know, help you keep your horse healthy and, come on, echinacea and stuff. I mean, we're going to keep them, you know, keep the barn as clean as we can, keep the horses healthy as we can. The biggest thing is when they start to get sick, recognize they're sick and not push them. And that's what we've been trying to do so far this year. So we've taken a real almost a 180 in some regards to the horses. Last year it was put them on antibiotics and just jog them slow. This year in some cases it's don't move them and wait till their temperature comes down and let them get over it. Much like you or I, if I'm sick, I don't go on antibiotics right away. I take Tylenol, Advil, drives the temperature down, lets me get back, lets me rest and relax, drink some water, and let my body get over it. And that's what we're going to focus on this year. So we do have some sick horses. We had to scratch some horses, and hopefully that's come to an end with Jelona tonight. She will be racing in, I don't know, race something. So that's really it. Now the biggest news, obviously, of the week and the weeks coming is how many horses we have qualifying. Somewhere in the range of 20 to 30 horses qualifying in the next week or so. We did qualify Stonebridge Loyal this week. That was impressive. We have a bunch more coming behind her in the very near future. So, not a lot to talk about the racing side yet. A lot going on. We got a lot of lists here to talk about. I have the turnout list. All these horses, except for 3 or 4, are coming back in the first part of December. All of them. Obviously, Lawmaker, White Tiger are not coming back in. Cruising with Style might come back in, as he was just a little bit tired and we turned him out. There really wasn't anything going on with him. Well, Lawmaker's going to stay out till probably mid-January, maybe even the 1st of February, and White Tiger will be back in and with us, I'd say just January 1st. Let's say January 1st. So a lot going on. We'll be right back in a moment. I'm going to run through the babies with you. I'm going to run through the barns with you. I'm going to give you a little 15 horses that I thought were very impressive yesterday. Obviously, I don't want to touch on the ones that are bad. The reason I wrote down Bend Over and Crazy Mission is simply because we need to get them working properly. There's nothing wrong with that. This time last year, go back and look at the videos. We had lots of horses that needed a little bit of help, and we got it for them. And that's exactly what we are going to do this year. So our first 2 on the list to really focus on next week are Bend Over and Crazy Mission. Obviously, we have 22 horses or so that come in the last 2 weeks. They wouldn't possibly be on this list, but these guys come in around the first part of September. I would expect they'd be doing the work right now. Need a little help? Help is here. Help is on the way. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute with all your lists.